Peyton Watson was hitting every corner threes, bro. It's what I've been telling you this whole season.
Yeah.
They
The
just was
Nuggets are top three in the league in that, by the way.
exactly.
I hate the Celtics. It was a great rivalry, bro. One of the most watched games ever in NBA history, by the way. So clearly the rivalry is still alive and well.
Mhm.
But dude, it was the Al Horford Jason Tatum game. I mean, Jason Tatum was killing us, man. You know, the Pistons from last season to this season have honestly been the team who's made the most improvement. Clearly, JB Bickerstaff has put a lot of trust in him to kind of be the engine to that offense, and he's led the way, man. Averaging about 24 points, 9 assists on pretty good efficiency. Shooting 85% from the line or so. And again, for me, what it's been for me is he looks a lot more locked in on defense. And he looks very like a floor general finally,
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boys over here at Three Man Weave. I'm your co-host CJ. Here with my lovely co-host ZD. How are you doing today, sir?
man, I'm in the building.
Yes,
You know
sir.
what I'm saying? Like I'm here. I'm on the hot spot. I'm sorry if the internet's like sometimes, but I think we've been good, right? We've been good,
Yeah, we've been
you
good.
know? All right, for sure. So yeah, I'm above ground. You know how I like to say it. I think unfortunately the Lakers we'll get into it, but man, those two L's definitely gonna hurt us. LeBron's injury is a massive deal, right?
Hmm.
That definitely puts a damper on his All NBA chances and any end of season awards. But more importantly, the season is kind of. They like to say it's in jeopardy whenever LeBron. I don't think it's in jeopardy, Lakers fans, so it's okay. But we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, bro. You know what I'm saying? How to get the attire on. I got the little braids on today, so I look a little different, but how to rock the headband and a jersey since we play tonight. Playing the Celtics, got a big game tonight, and hopefully we could scrape out this dub for you, bro.
It's a finals preview. They like to say, dog. Like I think we've been getting banger games in the NBA. Like we've said it for a few weeks now. But man, if you're not tuned in, this is definitely one of the better years to have League Pass. But especially right now. But these games just continue to be close and competitive. And I think this one will be competitive. The spread's like 3 points.
We're
So
actually an
no J Dub
underdog.
though. No
Yeah.
J Dub, bro. Honestly, I want to hear your thoughts because the Thunder took some losses too. So how you feeling, man? How you feeling about the squad? Where they at?
Yeah, obviously, we just had this back to back against the Nuggets, and that was shit. That first game was that final score is a lot more deceiving than what the game really was because that game was pretty much we're both going back at it for like three straight quarters, and then we kind of started pulling away towards the end of the game. But they are just, I feel like we've been talking about them a lot this season. Obviously, with are they really contenders to make the finals? And honestly, bro, I think my answer for that has been yes, just because of one player, and that's Nikola Jokic. And obviously, everyone else on that team is doing fantastic as well. Peyton Watson was hitting every corner threes, bro. It's what I've been telling you this whole season. Um,
Yeah.
they
The
just was
Nuggets are top three in the league in that, by the
exactly.
way.
So like I said, it's teams like that, right? When we've been placed in a lot of 2-3 zones lately. For everyone that doesn't know, it's a zone defense. So it's not as easy to drive to the paint and get buckets like mid range in the paint. More so, you gotta kind of expose the zone and try to swing the ball and get an open shot, which is
All in the middle.
more than likely in the
Yeah.
middle, and then like really threes too, honestly. But we've been super streaky from three, and I feel like that's something right now for us. That is the difference between us beating a team like I said with the Nuggets the first time we beat them by 17 or 13, and then we lose to them by, or no, my fault. We beat them by 24, we lost by 13. So that is the difference. Whenever we were hitting shots that game, and whenever they went into that 2-3 zone, and like you said, we lost J Dub. I think he injured his like hip. He fell, and I think he's missing tonight's game. So I think he's day to day. But I mean, it goes back to kind of what we were saying as well. We're at that point in the season. We have like a large lead for their number one seed in the West. I think it's 10, at least, maybe 11, maybe 10 now. But I would just try to make sure everyone's healthy come playoff time. Maybe a couple games before, so they could kind of get that run in. But there's no reason for me in my eyes. Obviously, the number one seed isn't clinched yet, but we have a comfortable lead. And at this point, I feel like we kind of know our identity, and at this point in the season, we kind of know what every team is. It's just kind of what can they do, what adjustments could they make come playoff time for them to win a championship. And like I was saying, going back to the game, the Denver was exposing us, bro. Like I said, they went into that 2-3 zone. We kind of got a little stagnant, and when Shea isn't able to have that game like he did the first game that we went against them, it's hard to beat a team like the Nuggets because they're gonna come down and 9 times out of 10 are probably gonna get a good shot, because of Jokic, and that was pretty much it. Which it's great for the league and it's great for all of the viewers and like people just watching because we literally these are for everyone that doesn't know these are the two front runners for the MVP. We get a master class from Shea the first time, and then we get a master class from Jokic the next. So it's kind of goes back to the MVP ladder. It's been up them two number 1 and 2. So it was great to see that, but yeah, no, it just like I said, whenever we don't hit our threes, it's gonna be a tough game for us because I feel like they're gonna have a lot like the Lou Dorts, the Alex Caruso. They're gonna leave them open more than likely come playoff time. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what a lot of teams are doing now. So they're kind of living by our role players hitting their shots, which they have been all season or towards the first half of the season. Now we're kind of not shooting as well as we were before, and we're relying more so getting to the rim and the paint points and the mid ranges and stuff. So, and obviously it gets a lot harder to do that come playoff time. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's I'm not. It's not a dark place, or and I'm not like, oh my gosh, I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah,
if we're gonna
yeah.
is it a
Exactly.
fluke of a season type thing? I think we're still a great team. I think us
Exactly.
just having to incorporate the double big lineup as well has been something that Coach Dayton has been kind of experimenting with, and of course, this is the time to do it. So we're kind of seeing, obviously we still been winning. You know what I mean? It's not like we're getting blown out. Besides this past game, and then, like I said before, last pod we were like blowing leads and stuff. It seems like that kind of has slowed down, but the games are just a lot more close now. We're not getting to these 15-point leads in the second quarter and then blowing it. It's just been close pretty much the whole game, and then come third quarter, going into the fourth quarter is usually when they start to ramp it up. But yeah, no, it's been great basketball still. That we still are one of the best defenses in the league. It's just when you have a player like Nikola Jokic, bro, not a lot of people can stop that, and they did not. I don't think they missed like if they missed a shot, it was like one or two in the fourth quarter. Like they were knocking down everything, bro. Russ was going off. MPJ was he's bro. MPJ has been hooping this year. I don't know. I'm pretty sure but like I don't think a lot of people know that because we just saw him as a 3-point shooter. He's kind of rounded out his game like really well this season. I've been super impressed with him. Christian Brown has been killing it, bro. I think he should be in the contention for MIP. You know what I mean? So I think they're figuring everything out, which I'm not that surprised because of Nikola Jokic, but all the other role players are stepping up as well, and that's what I've been really surprised with them this season so far.
Mm, I love that. I think, dude, the first game, like Shea was just he had 40, right?
Yeah.
I think to your point, it's been the battle of the MVPs, and when you when you look at both players, like you're saying, it's kind of like one has a really good game, the other one has a really good game. If the other one's not having a good game, well then that the Nuggets are gonna win, or if Shea's having a good game, the Thunder are gonna win.
Hmm.
So it's kind of just in that point of the season where they're playing more, like you're saying, stronger opponents.
Hmm.
And I feel like obviously you got to give credit to the Nuggets. I think they had a pretty good game, but it's tough on a back to back. But what were your thoughts on kind of what did you see what Jokic said about Shea's kind of MVP case,
Yeah.
and what were your thoughts about
Yeah,
that?
no, bro. I fuck with that, bro, because I feel like, that's. And honestly, Jokic, I feel like, he was saying, everyone talks about it. Like, he doesn't really care about it. I feel like he does, but for him, it's just winning chips because I feel like once you get to that top, you want to get back there again. And, being an MVP comes with, potentially getting to that point. But no, yeah, I fuck with that, bro, because I feel like that's how it should be. It's like nothing but respect, Like, Shea's having an incredible season, but Joker's having probably the one of the best statistical season we've really ever seen from a center. You know what I mean? So it's like I understood where he's coming from because I feel like for him it's like, bro, I just if I get an MVP, I get
Yeah,
another one.
yeah. I just think his case was more of like just like there's nobody else who would win it besides Shea
Yeah.
if it's not me, essentially.
Right.
So that would be cool to see at the end of the year. But yeah, kind of. I mean, yeah, the Thunder, like you're saying, they're not in a dark place. They still have the best net rating really like ever.
Mm-hmm.
So they're fine. They're playing the Celtics tonight. We'll get into it a little bit later, but man, the Lake Show 0-2, man. 0-2. Celtics, great game.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the Celtics. It was a great rivalry, bro. One of the most watched games ever in NBA history, by the way. So clearly the rivalry is still alive and well.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, it was the Al Horford Jason Tatum game. I mean, Jason Tatum was killing us, man. I think he had 40 points, if I'm not mistaken, as well, or like 42. And then Al Horford, bro, is just the ageless wonder. I mean, when we talk about somebody who has completely transformed their game, has allowed the Celtics to do different things and be effective, it's Al Horford. I mean, he was hitting corner threes like you were talking about,
Mm-hmm.
the Nuggets doing, and then just his rebounding, the offensive rebounding has been an issue because we don't have a big body out there. I think injuries to Rui, LeBron, we'll talk about the LeBron injury in a second, and then the Jackson Hayes injury. It's been Man, it's been slim pickings at the center position. We got to go with Finney Smith, Vando sometimes. All these guys out there, and it's not really working. It's not meshing too well. So in that first game, obviously Tatum, the Celtics kind of blitzed us, but we were able to get back on our feet. I think we played a lot better in the third quarter. It allowed us to kind of claw back into the game, but the Celtics are just Man, they're just too much. They're just too much. LeBron actually exited this game in the third quarter, and that's kind of when everything kind of went to crap for us, you could say. And I'll be honest, man. Like, I think we should still be able to beat the Nets without LeBron James, right? And so I'll get into that game in a second, but it is scary because normally Braun would come back. If Braun is good, bro, Braun is not going to sit out of a close game, third quarter against the Celtics, right? With the Lakers across his chest. Like, this dude is probably in my opinion, the GOAT. So like, he's not going to sit out in that time period unless something's actually wrong. And clearly, bro, like when he exited, I was like, man, like this is gonna get dark, and it kind of did, man. Luca, they were able to double Luca. Right now, they're able to double Luca. We don't really have anybody who's effective in being that second kind of secondary decision maker, you could say. So they would double Luca. There was a ton of possessions where it would get late in the shot clock. That's another thing I had in my notes against the Celtics is they do really well of kind of picking up full court, making like harassing Luca in the front court. Whenever he gets into the back court, he touches the ball with 16 seconds. He dribbles a few times, 12. They double, right? He tosses it out. There's 8 seconds left. There's not that much time to make a decision, so that was impacting us in the third quarter and the fourth quarter, and then just the barrage of threes. I think when you lose the 3-point battle to the Celtics, you're pretty much bound to lose. But like kind of like you're alluding to, we competed, bro, especially with no LeBron. This is what I would call another quality like loss, right? Kind of showing me that we still on the road in the Boston Garden, like we still have some juice. I think if we had LeBron in there, I think we win that game. I think we do. The final score kind of says that we would. And I think with his kind of mental ability, his ability to rally other players, it would have given us a better opportunity. But going into that next game, the Nets game, which was actually yesterday, it was on the 11th. Dude, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I don't really know. We started off kind of slow. I think Dalton Connect had another decent game. Like you were saying, you took Luca. Luca didn't really have the best game. It was another. I was watching it. It was like another slow, late shot clock, double him. nobody really can make a secondary decision. I think at times, this is another thing I had too. Luca does hurt Austin Reeves's playmaking potential. And that was kind of something that we talked about before on previous pods that was going to happen is like I definitely saw it in this game is like the my turn your turn doesn't really work as well with AR and Luca just because I feel like LeBron just has a little bit higher of a mental capacity for doing that. So I think that hurt us in this game, but bro, the Nets were just the offensive rebounding. I mean, my goodness, we're short, bro, but I think they must have gotten. I saw few possessions where they got 3 or 4 offensive rebounds. I think they finished the game with like 15, which is just an outrageous number. Especially we're small, but we should be feisty. We should be crashing the boards, be getting out in transition and being effective in hustle plays. And so like I don't really understand where that issue was. I think that's more of an effort thing, but yeah, when Luca only can score 22 points, um, I think at the end of the game we started to make it close. We hit a bunch of crazy threes. Austin Reeves banked one in. Luca hit one from the logo. Gabe Vincent hit one to the corner to kind of make it interesting, but it wasn't enough. And again, I think in my opinion we should be beating these teams, especially that are cupcake like the Nets. But yeah, the no Roy again, no Jackson Hayes, no LeBron, and that is going to hurt our team substantially, especially when that's predominantly who's our those are top 7 guys on our roster. You know what I'm saying? So we're missing those dudes right now. It's no excuses. It's the NBA, but we got to figure it out, man. I think I was really disappointed with our effort in the Nets game. I think that's one thing I wrote down was just effort wasn't there, and that's why we lost that game. We were a better team than the Nets. It has nothing to do with how they were playing. We weren't getting cooked by any like single player per se. I think Cam Johnson had a decent game, but the Nets are not a better team than the Lakers are. So it just really came down to effort and offensive rebounding, and we ended up making it close in the fourth quarter, but it wasn't enough. So I think this LeBron James injury is a massive red flag going forward. Again, we'll kind of talk about it later on all NBA teams and stuff like that, but we'll see how it impacts him coming down the stretch of the season. But yeah, bro, it's been tough in Laker County, I guess like you could say. It's not dark, but we've done such a good job kind of putting ourselves out ahead of these places. But ultimately, whenever you have an injury to a superstar player in LeBron James, you're gonna feel that impact, and we've been feeling that for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I was about to ask you how long is he gonna be out for? They said like a week,
They said
right?
2 to 3 weeks,
2 to 3.
bro.
Mm,
No, LeBron, I don't know, man,
yeah,
but we'll see.
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. I like the thing with the Mavericks is like they've had those injuries, right? And it's like obviously injuries are never something you want to see. Excuse me, it's part of the game, but um, it's just like LeBron James being out, bro. Is just we're gonna have to figure out how to really use Luca and be
Mm,
more effective and kind of seeing what he can give us. And yeah, I think we'll be okay. But the Nuggets are right on our tail. But they've caught up to us honestly, and um, it's the West is a bloodbath. So when you start piling up losses late in the season, it can't be good. And our strength of schedule is kind of strong. So we have a couple opponents. I think we're playing the Bucks on Thursday,
mm,
and that's the next preview. It's like it's a solid team, man. That's a team that's fairly healthy. It's probably you could consider it a scheduled loss. Like I would assume we won't be favorited in that game.
yeah, yeah, and they're looking good too, bro. They're kind of figuring everything out on the East.
I know. I know.
Bro, it's the best time of year, bro, because this is when we really see who is going to do something, you know. Because like even if they're a lower seed right now, they could start going on a little burner towards the end of the season, like you were
Yep.
saying, and that's
Like
all
the
you
T
really need.
Wolves.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, man. But yeah, bro, I kind of wanted to talk more about this finals preview because I think it's interesting. I saw something I wanted to ask you about. It was on Twitter. It was like, oh, so tonight's the the finals preview they're giving us, the one we want to see is the Cavs versus the Thunder, but the one that the NBA wants is really the Lakers versus the Celtics. What are your thoughts about that? Do you think that this is honestly, bro? I think this is the Celtics have a chance to go to the finals. But what are your thoughts on kind of how they've been playing recently? And then obviously the Thunder have no J Dub. I think.
Yeah, J Dub's out today.
How do you think that's gonna impact you guys?
Yeah, so I think this is definitely a finals preview, as they would say, but I think it's gonna be a tough
Yeah,
match for
really.
us, bro. Because like I said, they do what I've been saying. Like we're terrible. Like the one thing we're not good at on the defensive side of the ball is what they excel at. It's what they won their championship last season off of. So it's gonna be. I think the line's like you said, like 2.5, 3.5, something. So the line's not crazy, but I wouldn't be surprised. They play like a AAU type basketball where they're just like running down the
Yeah,
court,
yeah.
open three, pulling it. Like they'll be like 20 seconds on the shot clock. They just barely got the ball and they're already pushing it. And like it's hard whenever they're hitting those shots at the beginning of the quarter. Unless I'm not counting us out, but I feel like that is the thing that we don't do well on the defense side of the ball is what they excel in, like I said earlier. And it's going to be hard for us, especially they have, like you were saying, they're really one of the, if not the most complete team in the league. They have defenders that can pretty much guard one through four, 1 through 5 with some of their players. And it's tough to deal with that when I'm assuming we might see a little bit of zone, because I feel like that's kind of on probably on the scouting report. Oh, they haven't been doing well in a 2-3 zone. They haven't been able to knock down their shots. We're slowing down Shea because he's not able to get into the paint or get into the mid range. So it's going to be a great game. Don't get me wrong, and the atmosphere is always going to be incredible in TD Garden, right? And the way that they've been playing
Yeah.
lately, like you said, I don't see, obviously, Cavs. That's more than likely going to be the Eastern Conference Finals, in my opinion. Cavs versus Celtics, but yeah, there's not many teams that I think that can beat them in a 7-game series, bro. I
Yeah.
know it sucks to hear that, but they're great, bro. And I think I talked about that earlier in our the first game we played against them. What I noticed, I was like, bro, the way that they play is just, it's just good basketball. And I feel like it's
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of what the game has revolutionized to become. Everyone can shoot threes 1 through 5, even shit 1 through 12. Really, every single player on their team can, and then go out there and play good defense, and then make the right decisions. So we'll see, bro. Like I said, I think it's gonna be a good game. I'm definitely not counting us out, but without J Dub, I feel like that's definitely gonna be a huge deciding factor
Yeah.
as to like us doing well, because I feel like he would be able to, obviously not be locked down Tatum or Brown, but he would be guarding those type of players, and it would be probably a lot harder for them to score opposed to having like Aaron Wiggins on them or something like that. They might put Caruso on one of them, or like we could rotate stuff. But what I'm long story short as to what I'm saying, they just have big forwards that are 3 level scorers, so it's hard to guard that when one of your all-star player is out, like you're saying. But I think it's gonna be a close game. um I'll never count
Are
on
they
my
gonna
team.
double Shea?
uh yeah, I think so. They'll probably double and try to have him kick out, but if they start hitting those shots early on, then they probably stop and then probably go into
Yeah,
like a,
because the Thunder.
because that's the thing with
Yeah,
us too. We're just like I said, first half of the season, bro. We're on fire from three. You know what I mean? I think Shea has been doing a lot better, and Dort has been doing a lot better recently. But Joe kind of has like tapered off, and he's kind of shooting what he was kind of at the beginning of the season. Not as bad, because obviously it's been a whole season, right? But when you're really relying on like probably like Aaron Wiggins to have a crazy game, or
right,
Lou
right.
Dort hitting 8 threes like he did last game. It's stuff like that.
Well, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I wanted to give you my 2 cents too, like in terms of because KP's out for this game as well, and I was
Right.
gonna allude to this, and this is the time of the season. So the Celtics are, I think, 47-18. The Thunder are 53 and 12. The Celtics are second in the East, the Thunder are first in the West. So clearly, like CJ was saying, it's a NBA Finals preview kind of matchup. I think the Celtics have been really taking it slow with Porzingis for a reason. They're trying to deploy him in the playoffs. In my opinion, they're not really playing him in these games, which is interesting to me because I think he can go, but I just I don't know why Missoula's kind of backing off of that. But obviously J Dub got hurt last game, so it's tough whenever you're missing an All Star. But bro, I think right now I would say in terms of like form, kind of what's going on. The Celtics have been doing a lot better recently, and I think they've quietly been kind of doing their thing. Obviously, they just recently beat the Lakers, who I would consider is another championship quality team, and they've been kind of strong all year, but especially in the second half, they've been a lot stronger. So um, obviously, whenever we get into this, like the game preview, I would say the Chet Isaiah Hartenstein thing will be interesting, right?
Mm.
You alluded to that in the previous segment, but it's like we're gonna see how that is against a really solid, I mean, previous finals winner team, right? And they're gonna have to battle. Clearly, I think Chet is still figuring it out, and but he seems to be a lot better. I was gonna ask you what are your thoughts on how he's kind of returned to the lineup and how he's been playing?
Yeah, he's been doing good, bro. It's I think we were talking about it when he returned last or whenever he returned. It's I'm not expecting him to score 18 or whatever it was before he got injured, but just kind of what he contributes on the defensive side of the ball. You know what I mean? Being able to get those blocks and kind of be someone that can hold down the paint for us. I feel like that's something all season we haven't really had besides iHeart. And him being there, it definitely fills a void that I feel like we have been we that hasn't been able to be filled pretty much with him out this whole season. But yeah, it's he's been doing decent. I feel like he's been taking a lot more jump shots lately, and they're not falling. But if they do, then that's when he becomes a problem. So I think that was something that I noticed in the last game as well as against the Nuggets. So he was wide open, but he was missing a lot of those 3-point shots. But like I said, if he knocks those
Yeah.
down, then it's a whole different game. But yeah, I think he's been doing great, bro.
Um,
I like what he's doing on the defensive side of the ball more than anything. But
yeah, me too. I was gonna allude to like I think the Celtics really do struggle. I mean, most teams struggle, but they struggle with the Wembys, the Chets, the bigger centers who can dribble and shoot threes. Cat, right? The Celtics will usually give up tons of threes too. They surrender tons. So it'll be interesting. I think the variance in this game is a big thing to watch out for. Kind of whoever hits the most threes, I think, and gets them up. Obviously, the Celtics are going to get them up, but if the Thunder can compete with that, honestly, is Cason Wallace out? No, he's in. So yeah, they got a couple snipers ready to go. Aaron Wiggins. Obviously Shea has been shooting more, so I think it's gonna really come down to like their 3-point shooting. But we'll
mm,
we'll, we'll have to see. But yeah, man. This game, I think it's at 6:30, bro.
yeah, it's at 6:30.
Exciting.
Yeah, yeah,
Another banger, man.
yeah.
Super super good. It should be another high octane action packed NBA game. So I'm excited to kind of rewatch the recording because obviously we'll be doing this, but whenever I get a chance to go through it, bro, I'm gonna be turned.
Oh yeah, yes sir.
Yeah, bro. But I was gonna ask you, man. Obviously, I don't know if you had seen this too, but the Timberwolves and the Warriors, like we talked about it, bro. But they might be dangerous. They
Hmm.
might be dangerous. Obviously the Timberwolves are playing the Nuggets tonight, so I wanted to hear your thoughts on kind of that matchup as well. What you think? Because I think obviously Anthony Edwards can't get another tech, right? We talked about that on another pod, but so he's got to kind of be careful. But I think they could beat the Nuggets tonight. I got an interesting little later for our betting segment, bro. I got a little prop in that one, so
Okay.
I'm excited to kind of hear what you think. But yeah, what are your thoughts on kind of how the Nuggets and the T-Wolves have been doing and how this game is going to shape up?
Yeah, yeah, bro. Like I was saying about the Nuggets earlier. I just feel like their role players are actually playing to the capabilities that we, not that we all knew that they could do, but the capability that they knew they could be. Russ has been playing at an incredible level, and like I said, Christian Brown is having an MIP season in my eyes, and then Jokic is having arguably. MVP season as well. So they have been great, but the Timberwolves have definitely been surprising because I remember we were talking about them earlier on in the season, saying if like if their season was like wasted, you know what I mean, and now they kind of figured it out, and Nikhil Alexander Walker's hitting threes, and Jaden McDaniels is actually take scoring. I feel like that's something that we've all really been talking about with him. We knew the type of player that he is, but seeing it kind of translate to the league, he kind of focused more on the defensive side of the ball, which he's fantastic at. But it was kind of like that scoring jump. And I feel like he's been doing that really well, getting to the rim and knocking down his shots whenever he's open. But I feel like Naz Reid has been. I think we talked about him earlier in the season, second best player on the team, and he's still playing at that level. And then obviously Ant is having an incredible season. And then you have DiVincenzo actually coming back and making a difference.
Showing up.
Yeah, showing up, and
Yeah.
they just been putting it all together, bro. I never really counted them out this season, honestly, because of Ant, and I feel like that is the thing. Like with a lot of these teams, they started off a little slow, but even if it's
Yeah.
just that one player that they have on the team. I feel like we've seen, and audience and fans of the NBA has seen it before. Like that's really all you need sometimes. And if you just have your role players doing what they need to do, contributing to winning basketball, then that's really all it takes. And I feel like they've actually figured it out. Julius Randle has been doing really well lately.
Hey, bro. So they've won the last 10 games he's been in the lineup. They've won.
hmm And then obviously Rudy was out, so now he's coming back. I don't really know how that's gonna, be having to figure out Rudy with Randall, and it might mess up the play style a little
Oh,
bit. But like I said, the way that they've been playing, it's been I don't think
solid.
yeah.
Yeah. Man, I want to bring up one name though we ain't talked about in a minute. Okay, Jamal Murray.
Mm,
Man, this dude, he getting to some buckets right
he
now.
is, bro.
So I think honestly, it's funny. I thought you were gonna bring him up, but like I think he's been honestly since the All Star break, kind of what him and Christian Brown. I think like really they've been kind of obviously you have Jokic too. Whenever you put him in the mix, it's very scary. But the Nuggets are, you know, I would say right now they're currently better than the Lakers if Jamal Murray is gonna play this way. Um, we also just don't have a big to compete with, kind of what Jokic can bring to the table, but no team does. But yeah, bro, the Timberwolves have been playing kind of out of their mind. Their strength of schedule is going to be very easy coming down the stretch, bro. I'll go through it with you to kind of finish out March. Um, Dude, they're going to be playing. So they play the Nuggets tonight, right?
Mm,
Then they play the Magic, the Jazz, the Pacers, the Pelicans, the Pacers, the Suns, the Pistons for the rest of March.
damn.
And so like you can pencil in a couple wins for sure. So I think kind of like CJ's been alluding to, they've been getting healthier, moving up the standings kind of as we speak. So definitely don't sleep on them. And I think obviously the Nuggets are where they are because of Jokic, but I think Jamal Murray playing at this level is like really, you could clip that because I think, he's been going off recently. I want to pull up his stats post All Star break because I feel like it's that important.
Mm.
And I know they got him on ESPN, so give me a second. I gotta pull it up for you guys. But yeah, the splits are crazy. Let's see. So he's averaging post All Star break. He's giving you 24 points a game with 6 assists. He's shooting 93% from the line, 48% from deep.
Shh. Yeah,
So
that's
he's in the zone, bro. He's
he's been
on one,
locked in,
bro.
bro, and I feel like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't bring him up because he is a huge contributing factor why we lost that game the 2 days and 2 nights ago,
Yeah, he
whatever.
had like what, like 30, I
Yeah,
think. But if he's playing, because we all know Jamal Murray, especially in the playoffs, if he can play like this, dude, I think the Nuggets are super scary. But I think Ant. We'll talk about Ant obviously later in the next podcast, probably because he'll be on an All NBA team again. He's getting up the most threes of his career. He's also hitting at the highest rate. I think if he finishes, he's on pace to finish the season, I think, in like Curry range, dude. Like average, like shooting above 40% or something, making 400 threes or something crazy.
Mm,
So he's right there. He's been doing pretty good. But yeah, the Jamal Murray thing, I think, is like that's really what I wanted to get to in this one. So I'm glad you brought him up because
yes, sir.
I think that's kind of the when you talk about Nikhil Alexander Walker, I think that's the dude who's going to be guarding him,
Hmm.
and we're going to kind of see the Canadian kind of blood on blood, see what we get,
Right.
So I'm
Yep.
excited, bro. We got bangers on ESPN for sure
We do.
today. So if
Oh, that's the
one's
back to
coming
back
up in
game.
5 minutes, yes, bro, that's the
Ooh.
9 p.m.
Yeah, that's gonna be a banger. Damn, dude,
Yeah,
we got some, bro. That's I'm telling you, this is the best time of the season. March Madness is about to come up, bro.
bro.
Ain't nothing better than
Yeah,
playoff
that's
basketball, bro. I swear.
100%. I was gonna say, I think this one should be titled like ESPN knows what they're doing. That's
That's a good one. Yeah, I like that.
Thank goodness, bro. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I got a good matchup today. So I know me and you are gonna basketball geek out, for a second. But
Oh yeah.
man, I wanted to get into the meat of the conversation. We're gonna spend 20, 25 minutes chopping it up about this. But obviously, we're getting into the latter half of the season. Bro, did we do MIP yet?
Nah, I don't think we did.
So I think that's the one we gonna have to come back to.
We'll come back to that for
Okay,
sure.
because
Yeah, because
I
I
don't
think
want to
that is the
skip
one
any.
that we didn't get to.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then like obviously
Because
like
like
coach of the
Cade,
year and shit like that. Like
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
coach of the year.
I don't know if you
We'll
want to
do
do
that.
that.
We'll do that later
But yeah.
because I think there's only like a few candidates, but this I know this is solid, so we'll be all right. I think we're gonna be talking about the third team, All NBA. Obviously, this is like it's tough with this games limit, bro. To be honest with you, it's
Mm-hmm.
not as black and white as it used to be.
Oh shit.
I
Yeah.
think it's like you know what I mean? It's like you got to make sure that the people that they're within scope, of
Right.
who could actually potentially make it. But I think what we got is solid. Obviously the players on this list are some of the best players in the NBA. They're most likely all stars. And yeah, they're on the better teams too as well. So we'll get into it. Obviously, I'm gonna start from the bottom up. Just to make sure we'll talk about kind of each individual player, kind of their stats, what's going on throughout the year, and then you guys will kind of get a better picture of why they could potentially make it. So this is the All NBA third team. Obviously, this is who Three Man Weave thinks could potentially make it. Obviously, CJ, if you have anybody different from my list, you can bring that up as well. But
Right.
man, I'm starting from the bottom up, but got to go with the first man on the list, bro. It's gonna be Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr. Um, Averaging 24 points, he's giving you 6 rebounds, 2 assists, nothing too crazy. But what's crazy is he's averaging 50% from the field, or he's shooting 50% from the field, and then the defense, man. I think when you talk about a DPOI candidate, it's Jaren Jackson Jr. We've talked about him on previous podcasts, but what he's been able to do just all year, just improving from 3-point land, really improving his offensive game, and then being the defensive menace that he's been known to be. I think you got to slot him in this list. He's one of the main reasons why the Grizzlies are going to be a firm playoff seed this year. He's been healthy pretty much all year up until this point. I think he's out right now,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah.
So of course, it starts to get in jeopardy.
Mm,
You
yeah.
miss these games, boy. It's out of here. But
Mhm.
averaging a career high from points per game, pretty much all across the board in terms of efficiency. So I think the NBA is going to reward him. He's won DPOY before, I
Mhm.
think.
Yeah, I think 2 years
So
ago.
yeah, yeah, I think so too. So he's no stranger to these types of accolades. Definitely somebody who, again, bro, when you look at just what he's been able to do from three, he shot a couple, earlier. I think in his second season, he shot almost 40% from deep, but it was on like one attempt per game. But bro, shooting 37% from three, shooting almost 80% from the line, again averaging 23 points, and the defensive metrics are crazy. Can guard 1 through 5, has been in the lineup every night, obviously besides right now. So I think he's very deserving of the fifth spot, and I feel like the NBA will reward him for his hard work. So
Mhm.
shout out Jaren Jackson Jr. Man, he's been In my opinion, he's been one of like he could be like honestly, I would love if the Lakers could snag somebody like that because he's like one of my favorite players. Just the way that he can guard everybody, and then like he's a beast on the offensive end, and he'll dunk on you too, bro.
Hmm.
That's the thing. He got kind of sneaky bounce, so dunk on you too. I think Michigan State
Yep.
alum, just always ball his life candidate for sure. So got to show love. I feel like he's gonna make All NBA third team.
Yeah.
But man, next player on this list is like a classic. People forget about this dude, but he's been everywhere the last 2 years. It's Domantas Sabonis, man. Once again, the numbers aren't gonna knock your socks off, and I got it for you guys here. So I think like when we talk about Demont, he has a lot of impact that goes beyond kind of what you might see in the box score, but obviously can stat sheet stuff as well, right? Like let's not get it twisted. He's first in rebounding in the league. He's averaging 14 boards a game, and he's giving you 20 points. He also is top five in triple doubles again this year, so consistently showing up. But like Jaren Jackson Jr. is actually out right now, so it's kind of weird how
It's
these
crazy
guys
how
are
it goes,
they're
right?
killing me, man. Right? Like I was saying at the beginning, it's tough with this games limit now. The NBA makes it a lot harder. I think the position list is cool because it restricts us less on it's more unrestrictive in terms of like what you can choose. But
Right.
man, the you got to get that limit.
Y-
But Demont's having another amazing year. He continues to be one of the better power forward centers that we have in our league. And I think he's been, in my opinion, the best player on the Kings this year.
Yeah.
I think DeMar DeRozan is right up there as well, and then adding Zach LaVine is cool too. But what he's been able to give you in the boarding department, and then just his efficiency, shooting 75% from the line. He's consistent every single night in terms of what he brings with his energy, and I think that really shows up on the stat sheet, bro. Another cool thing that he's doing right now is the 44% from three. I mean,
Yeah.
man,
That's
on like
scary.
3 4 attempts, that's pretty scary. You know what I mean? He's starting to get a lot better of a shooter. I think that's kind of the one gripe people had about him is kind of his playoff performances and then his outside shooting ability, but that's no longer an issue. And then um, I think he's second or third in field goal percentage at 60%.
Yeah.
So another guy who just dunks layups, continues to be, in my opinion, bro, he's a top three center that we have. I would probably pick him after probably Cat this year, but yeah, that's where he's going to be slotted in. But usually I would pick him right after Jokic. So
Right.
I think the NBA is going to give him his flowers, and he's never an All Star, but he definitely could always be. I think they gave it to Şengün this year, but
Hmm.
Sabonis was right there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Hundred
um,
percent.
man, the next player on this list, bro, I want to hear your thoughts on because I don't know, maybe this is the one that was iffy. I put Evan Mobley on there, bro. So what do you think about kind of his offensive game and his growth in that regard, and then just his defensive ability again, kind of leading the way for the DPOY?
Yeah, yeah. I saw that one, and that was the only one that I was kind of iffy about. But I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it. You know what I mean? He's been playing at an incredible level. I think he's averaging like 18 points a game. 18.6 points per game, 9.3 rebounds, and then you know what he can do on the defensive side of the ball. I feel like everyone has really these past since he's entered the league. You know, it's always been if he can make that his jump on the offensive side of the ball. And this year he's been able to like knock down his shots really, and then once he gets in the paint, it's hard to stop him. He could just hook shot it in or dunk on you. You know, he's been incredible to watch, and I think it's also just seeing the Cavs actually winning games as well. He's a huge factor into that. You know, him and Jared Allen have been pretty much the two-headed monsters over there in the Eastern Conference. You know, it's hard to guard two bigs because not a lot of people have that now. And when you have a big that's scoring 19 points a game and he's locking up your big as well, it's hard to beat that. You know, so I wasn't mad at it honestly. The one I'll let you get into your thoughts about him, and I'll say who I replaced
Yeah,
him.
you can give me the one. Yeah, cool. Yeah, but I put him there. Just I think if you're gonna win DPOY, I feel like in like you said, you read the numbers offensively. when you also can give 20 points a game and 10 rebounds, it's like, man, that's an All NBA candidate right there, especially for a team that's the best in the East. He's one of the main reasons why they've been doing so well. I think it's definitely the opportunity is there for the taking for Evan Mobley to really get this,
Hmm.
and that's kind of why I put him on the list. To your point, it's like kind of iffy, but I think what he does for them, defensively, but what he's been giving them on the offensive end, more importantly, this year is I think is the reason why the Cavs have been able to be such a threat, bro. Like they're really a finals contending team because of what they have, the core that they have. So I think Evan Mobley is right up there for one of the main reasons why they are that, right? And I think the NBA is going to show love to him, man. I think the Cavs are going to have a lot of great potential. Again, Kenny Atkinson, right? They're
Hmm.
going to have probably potentially Mobley and then Darius or not Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, right? So they're going to have people who get those accolades at the end of the year and reach the games played. He's also been low key an Iron Man, bro. He just doesn't miss a ton of games, and I think that's really valuable in this year's NBA. And obviously, later, obviously in the season, it gets tougher because your body starts to wear down, blah blah blah. But I think it just goes to show you his versatility, what he's been able to give the Cavaliers. So shout out to Evan Mobley, man. I feel like he's underrated, bro. I wanted to show love to him, so I had him on the list for sure, and I had him up third pick. So from the bottom is like the last person to make it.
Got you. Got you. Got you.
In my opinion, like he's above
He,
those people just because, yeah, like he's been better.
yeah.
His team's been better. He could win the Defensive Player of the Year. It's like it's a big deal.
Right. Yeah, no, the person that I had put, because obviously I use yours as a frame of reference, you know what I mean? Because I was at work and I didn't have time to make my list, but the person that I had instead of Mobley, I put Trey Young, bro. I think Trey Young
Okay.
has been having an incredible season. Obviously not obviously the offense side of the ball, but not his scoring. His passing has been crazy this year. He's
Hmm.
number one in
Hmm.
assists with 11 and a half,
Yeah, yeah.
averaging 24. So 24 and 12 essentially. Like I said, not shooting that well, but I mean his the Hawks are still in playoff contention. They're in the play-in right
Yeah.
now. They're the 7th seed. I don't think they're gonna get to the 6, but they're definitely gonna be in the play-in. You know what I mean? So they're gonna be still
We'll be
contributing
there.
to playoff basketball, and that's all you really need. And I just think the Hawks as well. They have been I think we talked about it. He is the engine to that offense. If Trey, kind of like how the Pacers are, but I feel like the Hawks have a little bit more. They're like more raw talent. Pacers, like we've seen it. They've been consistent these past few seasons. That is kind of what the Hawks are doing, just like a couple
I like
years
that.
before. You know what I mean? That's kind of how
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like to kind of describe their game because
Like
they
Jalen Johnson
right.
and yeah,
They have
yeah.
like good young pieces. They're just trying to figure it out first. And I feel like Pacers have kind of figured out their identity and they know what they're doing. But shout out to Trey, bro. I think he I think if he makes, like I said, obviously if he makes an All NBA team, it'll be the third. But it would just be really off of his assists and his offense ability, which I mean that's what we know Trey for. But it's just really those assists, bro. I don't know if like we can really
Yeah.
say
I mean,
one of the best players in the league, or the top leading assister isn't one of the best players in the league while he's averaging 24 as well. And like I said, you're not a top 4 seed in your conference, but I mean you're still in the playoff contention, and that I feel like that's really all they look at the numbers and they probably look at your seeding as well. But
he's the reason why they are. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I could see that for sure. I think he has a chance based off of his situation.
yeah,
Whereas like, Evan Mobley's more of like the Cavs have been good kind
good,
of all year.
right, right, right.
Where it's like the Hawks have had some issues. Jalen Johnson went down. They're still like you're saying they're right. I thought, bro, I'll be honest with you. I didn't think they would be here.
No,
I thought they'd be like ninth or
I
10th or
I
something
remember
by
we
now.
were talking about when Jalen Johnson got down that those Spurs were gonna
Yeah, I
get
was like,
like
it's over.
like a top 5 pick or something. So
No,
the
yeah,
fact
you're
that they've
exactly
been
right.
they've been treading
We
along
should
this
say
whole
it's
time.
been better too.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
they're solid, bro.
Yeah,
They're
but
solid. I think that's a good
yeah,
take.
I like him because I think he is one of the best players in the league, and I think he's been playing at that level as well, especially with those assists. Like we haven't seen that since Stockton. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
so
yeah,
and
yeah,
and
yeah.
that was in the
Yeah.
'90s for everyone that doesn't know. Like 30 years, we haven't really seen that. Plus, like I said, it's not like he's only averaging 15 or something. He's averaging 24, and
20, yeah, 25 a game.
yeah, and
Long term.
that can fluctuate depending on how hot he gets towards the end of the season because really this whole season his like efficiency hasn't been good. Like don't get me wrong, and I can understand probably why some people wouldn't put him on, but like he's still scoring 24. Like
I was about to say it's decent enough,
you're
man.
right,
It's not like
exactly. Yeah. It's not like the
yeah,
whatever he was like 28 or whatever he was averaging a
yeah,
couple
like
seasons. Yeah,
on the 47%, but
right,
it's okay. It's decent enough. And
right.
I think his free throws too are another key thing people don't talk about, but he shoots 88%,
Hmm.
90% from the line, so you can shoot a little worse from the floor if you're gonna make some free throws.
Right. Yes, sir. But
So
that was really
that's
my
what I'd say.
only not the whole list. That's the only one. I'm not gonna lie.
Interesting, yeah, because the audience doesn't know the rest, but
Right.
we'll also talk about these two dudes for a second. But yeah, I think Trey's right there, bro. So I love that take. I think um, he is on pace to average the most assists he's ever had in a season. I think he'll clear it, and he's still young for how long he's been, compared to how long he's been in the league. So they're still, I'm glad the Hawks haven't ever changed directions because I think he's always been somebody you can build around. You just got to get him an all-star big. They
Hmm.
haven't ever done that before, and they need
I
to do
think
that.
that's really all they're missing, bro. And hopefully that's what Jalen
God
Johnson
forbid we
can.
say that. God forbid
Jalen
trade for
Johnson.
an all-star center.
Hopefully
Yeah.
Jalen
No,
Johnson can
like
give him that.
I think Jalen Johnson knows like that wing player. Like they
Yeah.
got you, like you got that wing player. Cool, he's
Right. Now
athletic.
you
Like he
need a
can dunk on you,
big.
shoot the three. Yeah, you need like a pick and roll only, sit in the kind of paint. More importantly, a rim protector, bro. Somebody who can like save your ass on defense. But
Hey, that could have been
kind
Alex
of going to
Sarr, bro. That could have been Alex Sarr, but he didn't want to go to ATL. That's crazy.
I know, right? That would have been crazy, bro. Because I'm sure Trey would have. Trey is kind of like Luca in a sense, like he can upgrade somebody who's
Yeah.
not like that good,
Yeah.
but you just got to be around the paint and dunk that
Exactly.
shit.
Yeah.
Because he's so good with passing. But yeah, bro. This next dude, man, I think this is kind of like you're saying, moving up on the list. I think the NBA does it kind of the next man up, bro. It's Cade Cunningham. I think this one you probably agree spot on.
100%.
What he's been able to, yeah, 100%. I think what he's been able to, well, yeah, what he's been able to do for the Pistons, bro, it gives Detroit a lot of hope, a ton of hope. Obviously, he's kind of in the MIP running as well, which is interesting because he's a first
Right.
overall pick. So we'll talk about that whenever, But he has, the Pistons from last season to this season have honestly been the team who's made the most improvement. Clearly, JB Bickerstaff has put a lot of trust in him to kind of be the engine to that offense, and he's led the way, man, averaging about 24 points, 9 assists on pretty good efficiency, shooting, 85% from the line or so. And again, for me, what it's been for me is he looks a lot more locked in on defense, and he looks very like a floor general finally. He's talking. I saw him in person not too long ago, and he looked very very smooth. And I hadn't seen him since high school, and really, bro, his game is very similar. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of it's a lot more polished. Clearly, the Pistons. It's also been contributing to winning basketball. Like the Pistons have been able to again like win these games in certain situations where they're going on winning streaks. They're not 3-30, right? Like they're actually a solid team who's going to compete in the East. So I think yeah, Cade, we need to show love to Cade Cunningham. I feel like he's been the main reason why the Pistons have been so good. I think him and Jalen Duren, kind of the young pieces that they have in their core, is gonna set them up for their future in a lovely manner. So I'm excited to kind of see what they can do later. But yeah, what are your thoughts on how Cade's played so far and kind of yeah, what you thinking?
Bro, yeah, Cade has definitely been. I had him on my list as well, bro. He's been killing it, bro. And I think it's like you said, it's just also the team that has been built around him as well. Obviously, we knew what Cade can be. It's just it's hard to do that when you don't have the right people on your team. Players doing their role is hitting shots. You know, Malik Beasley having a crazy season. You know,
Oh
it
man.
all it has been, because of the player that Cade is. You know what I mean? And he's been killing it, bro. Like I said, it's
Mhm.
and they're solidified. I think they're the sixth seed right now, and it's looking like they're probably gonna be like a solidified sixth seed at least because they have like a 6 game lead ahead
Tons of
of.
hope in
Yeah,
Detroit. Yeah.
yeah, bro.
Jalen Duren looks great too,
Great.
man. Like that. I am shocked because he didn't, honestly at Memphis he didn't look that good, but again, Cade Cunningham, and I think is the reason why he's been able to be such a threat because you have to worry about Cade, coming
Yeah.
off the ball screen, and I think that just gives JD a lot of time to get a lob, and obviously Cade's one of the best. I think what is he, third or
Third.
fifth
I
in the
think
league?
he's third.
Yeah,
Yeah, third.
third. Okay, yeah. So top three in assists in the NBA. I think, bro, he's gonna win. I think he's gonna probably gonna win MIP and he's gonna make All NBA third team.
Yeah.
That's what Cade's season is probably gonna be like, especially if he can stay healthy. And,
Hmm.
and that's another thing too. I wanted to bring up. He's been healthy, bro.
He has
A lot
been.
of a lot of people been yeah, like a lot of people been talking about how he can't be on the court and blah 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 blah. But he's been there pretty much. I think he's only missed 2 or 3 games this year, so
Hmm.
he's gonna make it, man. So shout out Cade, shout out Detroit. Like CJ was saying, 6 seed, they're solidified. Obviously none of us are kind of like they could win a playoff series, bro. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
none of us are talking, we're not talking down on them whatsoever. So props to them for
It's
sure.
crazy how all it takes is one season for it to get to that point, bro. We were not
Bro, I
saying this
know,
about
right?
them last year at all.
Yeah, at all, bro, at all. So I think it's just, yeah, Cade the Magician, bro. That's the reason they're in this spot. So he's got to take the keys to the franchise and really make it work. But man, this person, obviously, legend. We got to talk about it. Obviously, the Warriors have been getting hot, so he has a chance to make the second team. But it's Stephen Curry, man. So I want to hear your thoughts on me putting him on the third team, see if you agree with that, and
Yeah.
then how the Warriors have been playing kind of with Jimmy Butler now.
Yeah, bro. No, I agree with it. I think, obviously he had that stretch where he kind of went cold a little bit. I think he didn't. There's one game he scored like less than like 14 points or whatever it was. So he kind of has been streaky through this whole season, but I mean it's still Steph Curry and he could get hot at any time part of the season. I feel like he's doing it at the right time right now because he's putting the Warriors in a playoff contention now because we were not talking about that prior to the trade deadline without Jimmy being there, and he's obviously it just opens up the game for him. You know what I mean? They have a person that can actually score mid range, create his own shot in Jimmy, and he creates so much attention on himself, Jimmy, that it's opening up the game for Steph. And now we see him
Yep.
doing these performances that he did in the Garden, dropping 30 or whatever it is, hitting
Yeah.
8 threes, 10 threes, whatever it was. You know what I mean? Like we know the player that he can be, and I think this season alone, for sure, he's probably gonna make it. And he's been pretty healthy this season and too. He hasn't missed
Yeah.
as much games, and I feel like that's a huge deciding factor when it's getting down to the nitty gritty. Obviously, all these players are great, but it's like, did they make the games requirement? You know what I mean? And he has. So I think that's a perfect spot for him, bro. He's been doing great. Like I said, the first half of the season, I think I was talking about like, man, this gonna be another Steph Curry led championship team like it was in 22. You know what I mean? And then they started falling off,
Yeah.
and when now it's kind of hope is being brought back for them. And it's great to see, bro. So yeah, no, I'm not mad at that, bro.
No, yeah. I mean, we got to have him on the list because he's just been, again, like healthy. He's been one of the main reasons, especially in the second half of the year. Like I feel like like you're saying, the performances in the in Madison Square, and then like the Orlando one, right? Like, bro, it's like I was telling you, man. I used to kind of hate on Curry, but what he's been able to do, kind of Olympics wise, like just winning these championships, the way he's been able to do it, it's kind of crazy. And I also wanted to look at his post All Star splits, bro. He's averaging 30, by the way, on let's see, 97% from the line and 44% from deep. So he's been, you
What's he shooting
know,
from the field?
hot.
Is he 40, 50,
Let's
90?
see, he is.
Yeah. for sure.
So he's
Yeah.
been 40, 50, 90 since the All-Star breaks ended. Just been scorching, bro. Like now he's Curry kind of has these, like you're saying, he's super streaky, but he also knows when to get hot at the right time.
Time.
Out of anybody in the NBA, bro, it's Stephen Curry, and I think he's in that mode.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, we got to put him on the list. Obviously, he could make second team if he continues to play this way, but I think he's played himself obviously into this conversation every year. He's always going to compete for an All NBA team, and this is kind of the one player that's like the legend on the list. I think KD and Bron we'll probably talk about a little bit later, but yeah, that wraps it up for us, man. I think those five players they're going to be solid. Obviously this one is probably the one that has the most potential to change, but I think whenever we come down to the latter half of the season, it'll be cool to kind of see how it clears up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, bro. Yeah, I think
100%
everyone on that list, like you said, is great. Like you did a
solid.
great job, bro. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy because, like you said, this is the one list that can fluctuate. But I think honestly, all those players you said are kind of solidified in a sense, especially with
Yeah,
the
yeah,
first
yeah.
and second team. Obviously, we'll get to that, later on. But the third team, yeah, that's solid, bro. And it's crazy
Yeah,
that like Sabonis and Trey weren't even all stars at one point, and then Trey obviously
oh, I
came
know, I know.
and.
Sabonis never is, it seems like. I feel bad for him. Like, I think Trey got in because of the injury, right?
Hmm. But
Yeah.
yeah, but it's
Oh, yeah.
crazy, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro. Well, you want to get into this? It's Wednesday, right? We got some bets, right?
we do, bro. You could
Yeah.
go first. I haven't made mine yet, so
That's fine.
we'll do
That's
it on
fine.
the fly.
So I wanted to recap. I think your Giannis play hit
Both of my
because
plays hit actually.
I got it. Yeah. What was the other one? I didn't. What was the other one again?
The
Can't remember off
Zubac
the top of my head.
29 and a
Yeah,
half.
Zubac. So, bro, yeah, I played that. I won 50 off that. I'm not gonna lie.
Let's
Like,
go.
so thank you
Of
for that,
course,
bro.
bro.
That was nice. The points and rebounds. Jokic triple double ended up not hitting.
Bro, it's
So yeah,
crazy.
we gotta retire it. I'm done. I'm done. I'm
I
done.
was like, no. I
You
was
know,
I was
I'm
hoping he
I
did
I,
just
I
because of that reason, bro. I'm like, no, bro.
yeah.
The one
Yeah,
time
dude.
ZD
Like
bets
I,
on
I
this.
gotta get off it. Like, next game he had a triple double. I'm
Yes.
like, man, this is just I can't win with that. So we gotta retire that on 3-man weave for the rest of the year. Shea did go over though. I think he
He
went over,
did.
it was like 33 and a half. I
Hmm.
think. If you got it earlier in the day, it was like 32. It was low, but he killed the Grizzlies. I think he ended up finishing with like 37 or something. It was a
Hmm.
lot. It was a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah. He
It
cooked.
wasn't. It was more than. Yeah, it was more than what we needed. So we ended up having a pretty good day. If you tailed all the way, I think you had a green day. It was like 3-1 between the both of us. So that's solid, man. If
That
you're
is
straight
solid.
betting, there's nothing wrong with that for sure. But we do have a couple to get into, you guys. With I have my picks, and then CJ is gonna have his a little later. But yeah, I mean, I'll start it off. I think this dude's been streaky, but the Mavericks traded him away with no remorse. I think it was a mistake. I'm going with Quentin Grimes over 2.5 3-pointers made, my boy.
I like
Come
that.
on, give me that.
I like that.
You
I
like
like
that? He's
yes.
been getting them up. I think you should take it. It might be juice now, but man, he's been getting up about 5 to 6 on average the last 5 games, and he's been hitting them at a really high percentage. I think he's shooting 50% over his last 3 games from deep. That's not going to hold, but I think he'll get up 8 to 9 threes tonight. And so I think he'll make 3 of them. That's only 33%, 35%. That's all we're looking for. He's kind of been also a main focal point for their offense while Embiid and got shut down, and Paul George has been out of the lineup too, in and out. Maxey and Quentin Grimes are really the only people that they have to score the ball, and Kelly Oubre. So I think he's going to be getting them up. He's hopefully he'll make them for us. But that was my first pick that I had, and then the second one, bro, is a little parlay that I was going to do. So it's two, but KD for 25 and Shea for 25. You should get like minus 127, minus 126 around there. But I feel like these two dudes tonight, obviously Shea might get double teamed, but I think just what he does from the free throw department is going to be enough. You can look to get, he's going to look to get a ton of fouls drawn on certain things, and if they go to the bonus, I think that's going to help him. So let's say he makes 6 free throws tonight. You really only need 20ish points, right? And I think he can get us 10 layups. So, and then KD's going up against the Rockets. They don't have the Thompson twin. They don't have one of the Terror twins. So I feel like this is going to be an opportunity for Kevin Durant to really kind of assert himself. He's also going to be talked about on a later podcast because I think he's been one of the better players in the NBA as well. So him scoring 25 points is again, it's been very very easy for him over the last couple games. I think he's averaging 30 over his last three games. So he's been on fire. He's been on one as well. So those are my two picks. Kind of had two and one, but you could call it three. But that's what I'm going with. The
Okay.
straight bet of the day is definitely Quentin Grimes, though, for sure.
That I like that pick a lot. I might have to tell you on that one, my boy.
You know that, yeah.
I did a little three leg. Honestly, I'm feeling lucky. You know, we're
Ooh,
on a little.
yeah,
You know, a
you've been
little.
on fire.
Been on. You know, been
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
good. Been doing good. So going back to who I bet on and he cashed for me the other day, Zubac, man, 30.5 points, rebounds. I like that. Miami Heat,
Still too low.
still too
Still too
low.
low. Got to be at 32 and a half.
That's what I'm saying,
32 and a
bro.
half.
He's been killing all
Yeah.
season. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So definitely him. Uh, Going back to someone I was betting on earlier in the season, he was. I think I'm like 1-1 with him. So I'm coming back to him. Cat points rebounds 37.5. They're going against the Trailblazers
No
tonight.
Brunson, right?
No Brunson. I actually was gonna bet on Brunson. I'm not gonna lie. And I saw he wasn't
Same.
on the props, so I was
That's
like,
crazy.
Cat. So points, rebounds. I think he hit that. Portland. Obviously, we know Portland. They've been actually doing really good, but I don't think they have anyone that can really guard Cat. Especially the type of player, him being able to stretch the floor, and he's been killing it on the boards all this whole season. You know, we'll get into him later on into these podcasts, and then last but certainly not least, I think Stephon Castle's gonna have a good game tonight, bro. His line was at 18.5. I take that. I took that over
Yeah.
on that. They're going against
The
the
rookie of the year.
the rookie of the year, yes sir. So little three man, three man, little 3-man parlay. You
Man,
know what I'm
I
saying?
gotta. I'm going to bet it right now, bro. That's a great one. I like that a lot.
Like that one.
Bro, I have a bonus one, bro. I have a bonus one.
Let's
Because
hear.
we were talking about this dude, and I think it's important to bring him up. But I got Anthony Edwards for 35 plus tonight, bro.
Really?
It's plus 305,
Okay.
little quarter unit, half unit. So you don't got to count it towards the main one, but I was saving that one. But 35 plus points, probably on FanDuel, it's like plus 400, but I
Okay.
feel like he's going to be cooking.
I like that. I'll take you up on that too.
Yeah, that's
I
one that's
like that
kind
one.
of sleeper in my opinion, bro. I feel like he's going to get up a lot of threes and he's going to be locked in. Like look for Ant to do something
Yeah. Yeah, I like that one. Hell yeah.
for sure. They're on the road, but hey, bear with me. The Timberwolves been hooping
They have been hooping, especially Ant. Ant has been hooping, bro.
for sure.
Hell yeah,
Well,
bro.
man, you had anything else for us?
Nah, man. Just everyone needs to watch basketball right now, bro.
I know, right?
It's the best time of year. Like I was
That's
saying,
crazy.
you know, what I mean, like just watch it, man. There's been great hoops, especially like I was saying, March Madness. You know, hopefully, people can watch a little bit of that. I've been trying to tap in with that because I definitely want to talk about like the mock drafts and stuff whenever they come up later on in the season. But yeah, no, man. Like I said, I love this time of year, bro. March Madness, and
Yeah,
then end of the season for basketball. It's great, bro.
in the summer it'll be like trades and just that.
Yep.
So you'll get an opportunity to talk about it. I
Hell yeah,
think
bro.
it'll be like the signings and then where KD goes and stuff. There's a few things
Yes.
that will happen in the summer, bro. So
Hmm.
uh, don't forget about that. But man, obviously, yeah, I don't got anything else. So that's gonna do it for the boys over here at Three Man Weave. Obviously, you guys, if you like the video, you leave a like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch y'all next time. Peace.
Peace. 3-man, 3-man.